Last week on Astrology and Crime, astrology sleuths forecasted a northwest direction and the river as a clue in the Riley strain mystery, which is where he was found days later. Can the same techniques be used in the Sebastian Rogers case?
I know this sounds crazy, but I am getting northwest. There's just so much Pisces. There's a lot of Uranus too, and Aquarius, which can mean fast running water. It's a river. So he's obviously near the river. Hello and welcome to Astrology and Crime. I'm Val Evans. In this episode, we will analyze the crime chart for Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old student from Hendersonville, the Hendersonville area in Tennessee, who went missing in February. And if you're new to my channel, we look at astrological charts and tarot cards to give us clues about past and future events. And today we will be looking at the sky map for the timestamp of the CCTV when it seemed to capture two people with flashlights in Sebastian's yard in the middle of the night. So if you like this channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And there's a join button if you'd like to access exclusive content with no ads. And for the members, I have a fascinating story of one woman who applied astrology to change her entire life. That was last year, after she spotted Black Moon Lilith in her chart and what it meant. And it was regarding a close family member deceiving her. So that's on Tuesday. Now, regarding the Sebastian Rogers case, I'd like to request that no specific background information of family members is shared. We're not perfect, so no worries if you slip, but we will share it if necessary. But that's so we can concentrate on the energetic details of this potential crime. We'll start with the crime chart, and then I will share with you a horary chart that I made a couple of days ago. The question being, where is Sebastian? And a side note, I drew a tarot card when I was preparing this show, and I got the Justice card, which influenced the title of this show. Is an arrest imminent? And I think it is. So, oh, Shauna, thank you so much. And thank you all for your good wishes. This is all because of you. This has become such an interesting community, really, of intuitives, and you all have so much to contribute to this channel, and I thank you for that. So it's gone by pretty fast, and I really appreciate all of your clues and all the background information that you have that you bring to this channel. Yes, Darlene, avoid that black moon. That's one thing that we learn. So Marion, Angel D, I know. Pop the Champagne, Heather, nice to see you. Inga and Ronald, nice to see you. Love the hearts. Are you Irish? And so, yeah, we were talking about NDEs. That's crazy, Darlene. Melanie, nice to see you on here. And well done. There were a few really good predictions from last time. What a sad ending for Riley Strain. But Melanie, you had predicted that the case would be solved from that one card. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, that was pretty amazing. And if Natalie's on here, she had predicted that the case would be solved within pretty much 24 hours when she said it would. So there's so many people on here who have had such great insight. So thank you all for that. So thank you, Heather. I know it's crazy. Thank you. And all right. So, Lisa, you say arrest. Justice is coming. It's a little obvious, I got to say. Thank you, Darlene. And yes, they're very decent. And it takes a little work, though, to try to weed out those who vibrate lower. And, we don't always like to take shots at people and troll people. I mean, we never like to do that, but sometimes we need that background information to understand the chart. So, Blue Heron, nice to see you. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And hi, Trisha. Nice to see you. You're a Pisces. Welcome. And so, yeah, NDEs are wild. Just to mention, there's a book by a neuroscientist that one of which I love, and it's on my shelf. I'll have to mention it next time. But it's just an amazing, amazing story by somebody who did not believe in NDEs and had one himself. So, okay, now let's get to this. Let me just start my slides here. Okay, so at first, the people who were really his authority figures at the time would be his stepfather and his mother, and they were giving a very big window as to, you know, when um, Sebastian went missing. And so it was very difficult to put together a really good timestamp. But when I saw that CCTV of two flashlights, meandering around that yard at what was it, 3:10 at night in the morning, early morning, I thought that was a very good timestamp. Yes. Thank you, Toji. I will share it with you gladly. And yes, Angel, it was very sad. It was extremely sad. And I still feel like with Riley, there are some questions that need to be answered. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any more progress on that besides being categorized as accidental. So it's just a little hard to, to accept, I think. But anyway, so let me make this a little bit bigger, and this is the chart I got for Sebastian, and this is at the time of when the flashlights were going on in the yard. Now, let me just mark this up. Okay, so this would be the victim here, and the victim is the ascendant and the ascendant lord. Now, unfortunately, when we see the ascendant lord in Capricorn, it often means that there is a low chance of survival. Um, Now, we hope that that's not the case. Now, Saturn here is Sebastian, and he's in the second house. The second house often shows someone who is of value to someone else. And I'm sorry to say that Pisces represents insurance. And so there's been that question that has come up. So there is a mini grand trine here. And there are two actual planets I would assign to the victim. That would be not just Saturn, which would be the Lord of the Ascendant, the Lord of Capricorn, but also Jupiter. And Jupiter often represents an adolescent. Now, so this could be Sebastian, Saturn could be Sebastian, but keep in mind, we got some third house activity here, which is the neighbor and the neighborhood. And we have this as the yard as well. This is the home, and this is the yard. Somebody's in this yard and they are hiding. You can see that they're hiding when it's like somebody goes behind a tree, based on that video that you're seeing. So, or at least they're trying to hide. Okay, so clue number one is that it seems as if Sebastian is seen as someone who has, I'm sorry to say it that way, but there is a value attached to him. And I mean, tell me if there's a better way of saying that, but that's the second house. This is somebody, um, you know, there's an association of him and some type of hidden of value or asset, and hidden because of Pisces. Things are hidden there. Now, let me get to the next slide. So what would that clue be? Basically the second house. That's the first clue. So who's who in this chart? Well, real quick, Jupiter often represents an adolescent. Saturn is going to represent the human remains. Venus is going to represent an adult female. Mars will represent an adult male. Sometimes when Mars is near Venus, it can show someone who has red hair. Mars is red-headed female. And sometimes when Venus is near Mars, it can show a man who has some kind of money, who does okay for himself. Mercury often represents like a little baby, but in this case, I think it just means two or twins, since there really isn't a very small child in the mix here. Okay, so who's who? You just kind of need to know that. And so we've got Sebastian as the adolescent. We've got Saturn, if I'm sorry, Jupiter is the adolescent. Saturn is, if he did not make it, that would be um, his symbol. Second house is money. And we also have mom and dad. Now, mom is going to be Venus, Lord of the MC. And astrologers argue all the time whether it's the Lord of the MC or the Lord of the fourth house. It depends on who you ask. But in general, I usually look at, unless it's the royals, it's the opposite. But with the MC Lord, that's going to be the mother. The MC, or I'm sorry, the IC Lord is Mars, which is the father. In Aquarius, that is a step, like a stepfather. Or it could be an X, but it doesn't look like there's an X involved. But these two people are instrumental here. Now, isn't it interesting, not to get too into the detail, but this is Sebastian's mother and stepfather. Notice the color of his shirt. Did anybody see that? And with Saturn, Saturn often represents a father. In Pisces is that kind of Neptunian color. So I thought that was kind of crazy. Thanks, Shauna. I'm glad, it's hard. It takes a little while. Yeah, I know, another redhead. Yes, Mercury could be a young boy, but it depends because it's a little technical. Mercury is very small. Somebody who's just learning, um, words. Then it gets to be a hybrid to Jupiter Mercury, so they get to start to get taller. So I'm thinking that's around 5 or 6. So it's Jupiter Mercury. Then moves into Jupiter once they get closer to 10 or 11. I think it depends on when the hormones kick in, and it's kind of different for everybody. So, yeah, Blue Heron, it's really interesting because I think that the neighbors are going to have a little bit of information that's going to come out, even more so than they already have. They know, hi, Crystal, nice to see you. Um, they know some things about this household that they are sharing. And so I'm seeing that in the chart here. What's really interesting to me is that the fourth house, which represents Sebastian's home, it is right at the end degrees of Aries, which means there was anger, in my opinion, in that home at that time. Somebody got really pissed off. And let me show you a little bit more detail to that. You've got what's the lord of the fourth is Mars. And in Aquarius, it's somebody who is interrupted from doing something. I'm not sure what. And so you have some real stress with these two people. And when you have Mars square the moon, this is anger. This is very, very angry about something. And then on the other side of this, you've got Sebastian, and Sebastian's in the home. So it could be because Jupiter is in Taurus. It could be because maybe he got caught getting something to eat, or maybe he got angry about something, or he might have wanted to go online, Aquarius. So there's a connection there to Aquarius. Maybe he was on somebody's computer and he wasn't supposed to. But it seems from this chart that somebody, namely Sebastian, was not perceived as doing what he was supposed to be doing. And so I think that might have caused the problem. Okay. Now, where is Sebastian? Well, because I am going to look at Saturn in Pisces, I think that he is possibly near water again, just like Riley. And um, and also, I wanted to share with you the horary that I did. Now, just Saturn, remember that can be remains. There's also, by the way, Mercury right there. What does Mercury mean? It means twin. So there could be the name of something, a twin river, or something that we can maybe look up and see if there's anything around there. Okay. So this is the horary I drew. And the horary chart is basically asking a question. It has to pop into your mind organically. And then you look at the time and you mark it, and that's going to be your timestamp. Well, this is what I got from my question: where is Sebastian? And it is quite different from the crime chart, which doesn't mean anything. But Libra is very prominent here. Now, Libra can represent lumber mills, it can represent areas with tall trees. But there's still an element of water nearby, I think, because there's this. I mean, it's the end of a yod, so it's connected to Taurus, which is like a forest, and Pisces, which is water. And also, there's an opposition here to 18 degrees, which is the evil degree, and it is on Chiron. So, this to me tells me that there was blood. There was blood because of Aries. And also, there is 22 is the killer be killed degree. And we've got Mercury there. So Mercury can be hands. So that can be harm to his hands, blood on his hands. And it can show that there were a group of wounds, because Mercury conjunct Chiron would be a group of wounds. With so much Aries there, that represents the military. So there could be, and I know there is a military theme in here, which is also a clue. The South Node, I was just thinking about the South Node. And the South Node is like leaving the victim behind, because the ascendant represents the victim. But I started thinking to myself, because these charts are so literal sometimes, I thought maybe the South Node means south. Libra means west. So that could be a hybrid of southwest. I think that he is southwest. Now, 16, if we were going to look at the chart like we did with Riley had 8 degrees and he was found 8 miles from the last seen location. So we technically could do it for this, but it's not 100% reliable. But if we don't have anything else, so we could start with 16 miles. So we're going to look at that, I think. And then I also wanted to talk about justice being served. What do you guys think? I want to actually draw a card before I get into that. I think so. Live kind. I got the same militant vibe I have with my ex. I got a pretty disturbing feeling from this little guy. I have an autistic, vulnerable son who's 15, so I feel so connected to this sweetie. Oh, that's so nice of you to say that. Yes. Oh, wow. Toy, you are getting bathroom, kitchen near wells and pumps, damp places, rivers, fish pond, roof coverings, plastering in houses, unfrequented places, sandy or hilly. Anything like this on the map? Oh, yes, there's a lot of that on the map, but we're going to look. Meg, you're saying, I love astrology. I'm a Libra with a Gemini moon, and I am so my chart. Yes, I'm sure that you enjoy interaction and social. Gemini is the socialite sign, and Libra is, there's so many nice things about Libra, trying to stay in balance. So, okay, let me just look at a few more. Yes, Inga, that is true. Yep, cat. I wasn't going to put that up, but I figured you guys would realize that there definitely is that clue of the military in here. Okay, Marion, you're saying there's a park there in Hendersonville, that large body of water and large trees. And okay, Angel, you're saying you think they did find something next to Old Hickory Lake. Well, they were actually shutting down that area. And there was a TikToker who documented it. I think it was earlier today. And there was a bandage, there was, an adult diaper, there was blood. So this is interesting. Now, Lori, you are joining a channel with a bunch of psychics. I am not. I am an astrologer. So we put all of our clues together and, we do our best and we just go with our intuition and just using ancient astrology and the rules of ancient astrology. Okay. Heather, you think the horary is on point. Okay. I think I remembered something like that, Angel D. Um, so I didn't realize he said that. That's interesting. It's funny because I'm getting the elderly woman theme lately because why? Saturn has been I think it was connecting with Venus earlier in my other chart. Maybe not so much this time, but definitely a redheaded woman in here. And you can see, I shouldn't say definitely, but there's possibly one because of that Venus woman with Mars. Now, the Aquarius could definitely give us some clue, and I think that that's because you see the red lines all over the place, and then the stepmother, basically the stepmother, or I'm sorry, the stepfather and the mother in Aquarius, it's kind of like they don't want to be online. I think they do have their own Facebook page and they have been interacting to some extent online, but in general, you can see how the public feels about them. The moon is always going to show you what the public thinks, whether they're right or wrong. It's just going to show what they think. And so when you see a square to the parents, uh, you know, the public is not, and they're very critical too, which is Virgo. When you have a square with Virgo, it's going to be something that's very critical. So that's going to come out. So uh, what I want to do is I'm going to go to the cards, then we'll go to the map, and then we'll do another chart. Okay. I think what everybody needs to know is clues about where he is. Now, it seems as if they've got a place of interest. They, meaning the investigators, are they looking in the right place is the question. So that's the first question I have. And that is 10 of Pentacles reversed. So would that be a no? Because we got a reverse. Wilted lettuce, you're saying, what about a sewer? That could be Scorpio. Let me see. Oops. Okay. We've got, Pluto could be a sewer. And that's the first house. I think because there's a square to part of fortune, which means success, it shows that maybe that was attempted, but it seems like no from this chart. So no, not yet. Laura, you think he's still in the house, secret room or something? Okay. Yes. Trisha, that's a possibility. Okay, you think he's by the stepdad's construction site. Biodad, that's Seth. He has not stopped looking. I really believe, do I get a white house with a dog? Uh, I mean, that very well could be, but I'm not seeing it clearly in the chart at this moment. But I could look at the horary. Hold on one second. Oops. This is horary. Okay. So if we're gonna look at the home for the horary, and let me make sure I have this pulled up. I'm gonna go down like this. This is the home, and Saturn would represent the home. Um, that's weird. There's an opposition with Saturn and Moon that shows death, and at the very least, it could show that something happened in the home. There seems to be some evidence. We've got Aquarius here. This is the attic. Uh, so there's a possibility that at the very least, you're going to see Pluto means investigators. So you're going to see investigators in the house, but it doesn't, because there's a square to part of fortune, it doesn't look like there's a lot of success with what they're trying to get. It's kind of half and half, but they do get something because of that sextile to the sun. You're basically looking, if you're just trying to figure out forensic astrology from a tactical standpoint, with very literal translations, you're looking at red lines and blue lines. What's going to be easy? What's going to be obtainable? And where there's going to be obstacles and trouble. Now, Moon means the dogs, um, and there is a trine to Uranus. So it seems like there's a lot. Jupiter with Uranus looks like a lot of evidence somewhere. And so I think there's a possibility that not only the dogs, which would be Moon, Uranus is also the drones. So altogether, I think that they're going to find him because, I mean, if we're looking at Saturn, oh, how about this? And we've got Saturn and Venus conjunct. So this is an older woman, some type of an older woman that is maybe helping out, maybe a witness, could have been somebody who is in the family because of the fifth house representing the family. Okay. So, okay. What are we talking about here? Really? Now that I think everybody wants to see. Um, Nancy Grace, I guess that's, sometimes people feel very confident. And I definitely get that vibe um, from Chris, from the stepfather. Yeah, Lori, I think you're right about that. They did talk about the step, not to get down into the nitty gritty, like I said, I wouldn't, but it is important to know if they left. Now, they might have left in their trailer because maybe investigators need to cordon off their home and they need a place to stay. So we keep our minds open. So not far from mother's work. Interesting. Okay, so what I want to look at real quick. You know what? I want another clarifying card. Let me just add this. And what kind of so that card basically, if you agree, is no, they're not looking in the right place. It's a big statement, but that's what it says. So, what would be good terrain? What would be some clue as to where he might be? If you can tell us that. Oh, well, that's not helpful, I don't think. Well, it does say near water. It's definitely not the beach, but uh, shouldn't say that's not helpful. Thank you, Spirit. There's three, there's a surfboard, three torches, somebody looking out at the water. So, what do you guys think about that? Moon in the 12th on the Horary chart. What are you thinking about that, Heather? Oh, yeah, the victim is the moon, often in the 12th. That's near water and missing. Um, Meg, you think he was unalived at home? Okay. Oh, you know they're going to. Yeah. Yeah, missing for 5 weeks. It's a good point, Marion. Um, you don't think they'll show up? I think you might be right about that. She's a little bit tough. That's a good question, guys. Another psychic said that he would be found on a Monday. Uh, so they did leave home today. Okay. He thinks he's in total control and above everyone. And that to me says that if there is any guilt, then often mistakes are made when you have such confidence. Hi, Cyan. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Left home today. Okay. Sebastian's paternal grandmother has spoken out that she has information. Interesting. Okay. All right. Let me get to the. You guys, let me know what you think about that too. Three of Wands. And I'm going to get to the map real quick. Okay, Lori, you are saying, I think everyone wants to think the worst of the mom and stepdad, including me, but it's hard not to. Yeah. Yeah. A few influencers have said that. Angel, you're saying from the online psychics and mediums, I've heard he'd been found already. He'll be found on Monday and found on Wednesday, so I'm lost. Um, oh, that's great. Thank you, Amber. Yes, let's do that one next. And could he be near a water tower? Absolutely. Sandy, watery area. Low sounds, I believe, since stepdad is a crane operator, searchers should be looking up. That's a good point there, because yes, and that's the Aquarius too. Mars is in Aquarius, which would give a profile of the father or the stepfather, since Mars is in Aquarius. So that's interesting. The flashlights are the three torches. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Anything about a blanket? I'll have to look at that. I'm trying to think. I guess that would be Venus. Venus would be a blanket. And we look at South Node for what we want to know that is left behind. So we're going to have to look at that. And okay, Amber, as far as Three of Wands, a decision has been made, expectations coming to reality. Interesting. It'll be 4 weeks tomorrow. There is a huge water at that park. I went there for a wedding by the water. Interesting. Kiss Me a Cow. The police didn't arrive at the house after they left. They would have secured it right afterwards if they asked them to leave. Interesting. You think it's where water splits? Okay. Um, his bio dad has been searching around Cumberland River. His bio dad must be just at his wit's end. I just feel so sorry for him. And it was just a couple of months until his son was going to move in with him because he, from what I understand online, his son really preferred to live with his dad. He was just so close to that time where he could, just have a potentially a better life. So, could the card represent the name of a park? Could the card? Oh, body of water. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to look at this map in a second. I definitely get no cell service there. Yellow field and found when low tide hits. Okay, they moved from original spot. That happens sometimes. Chris said he wanted interviews to ask him the tough questions. Be careful what you ask for. Yeah, she's a firecracker. You think he's in a neighbor's basement. He couldn't have gotten far with no shoes. Okay. Could find him close to dark. I will. I'm going to do the satellite view. Okay. Let's see. Lots of water. Good point. That's interesting, Rochelle. Body language experts don't see deception from any parents. Okay. Marion, I just saw the Lebanon's water launch. It has sand in some parts that move off. Okay. Gosh, so many comments. Yeah, Seth seems like a good dad. He's so brokenhearted. Oh, God, I didn't see that. I'm glad I didn't. So, full moon tonight. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Okay, so let me look at this map first, and then I'm going to go to the satellite view. Okay, so what if I wanted to do directions? Okay, I don't know the exact address, but let's say it's close to that. And let's look at like twin something. Twin in Tennessee. Something that'll come up. I kind of remember there was something. It was southwest, because remember I was saying southwest? I feel like he was taken outside of the local area. But the twin isn't coming up here. Let me see if I can. Let's just say Henderson, Tennessee. No, not Twin Springs. I want something that's southwest. Okay, there's Twin Peaks. But it would have to be near water. There's the Cumberland River. So I'm not sure if that's where one of their, one of the persons of interest, if there are persons of interest, if that's somewhere where they work. But there does seem to be some kind of twin. I kind of remember seeing twin lakes down here. And it would be along, the reason I'm looking this way is because it was said that there is a route between Nashville and Memphis. And you probably saw it online. There's an influencer who drove that route. Let me see here. And again, we're looking for lake, like trees with a lake or two lakes. Now, the lakes don't have to be necessarily the same like the same name, but they have to kind of look alike. Let's see. So Twin Springs, Twin Peaks. No. Twin Park. I feel like it's something next to a twin. So maybe you guys can take a look at that for me. Okay. I know. I will. Yeah, I'll look at them again. It's crazy. To the work site. Okay, you are from Twin Oaks. Thank you very much. Let me look at that. Twin Oaks. It would have to be southwest. Whoa. No. Twin Oaks, Tennessee. No. I mean, maybe. And why am I getting walking here? Let's do the drive. No, I think he would, if he was put somewhere, I really do feel it would have been the southwest here. Okay, and I promised I was going to do the satellite version. Now, where's 40? 40, it wouldn't have been too far. At least that's the theory. It wouldn't have been too far past 40. And I don't think he would have, if it's who we think it is, I don't think it would have been too far into the drive, yet still outside of the local area. There's the river, Harpeth River. That would be Venus. I did see two lakes that looked alike, and they're right around here somewhere. Now, of course, I can't find them. Anyway, okay. So now I'm going to go back to the chart real quick. And all right. And the reason I'm looking at twin is because I've got that Mercury there. Mercury is in Aries, and Aries is 2. So it would be, Aries could be something that is military related, yet there's still a sextile to Mars in Pisces. So I think it still could be a body of water. There's just so much Pisces. It's a really big chance that he is by some type of a river, especially with Uranus, which is fast moving, and that sextile to Saturn there. With Saturn and Venus, here's another clue. That's an older woman. And it could be the name of an older woman. Meaning not Cumberland, but something, the Reba McEntire, lake. Terrible example, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm not sure. It's a long 40. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm going to try to move this a little bit slower. Now they're up here. Would he have gone through Nashville that way? Or would he have gone around? He or whoever. What do you think? Seems like a really nice town. What a great place to live, so close to Nashville, even though I've heard about the crime. But uh, now Madison could be a female name, but that could be an older, it's something that has to do with an older woman. I mean, that's a big clue, most definitely. Um, Oh, why do we think an arrest will be coming soon? Well, because of the justice card, of course. And also because it doesn't look like the two people who are really involved in this are going to be successful. So, um, another spiritual reader said Lebanon, Tennessee. Okay, we could look at Lebanon. Lebanon. Okay, thank you, Leo. Something has been telling me near an airfield or maybe a cave. Okay. Linda saying flashlights came from the house into the rear of the yard, left that yard. A little later, only one returned. I think that is when Chris or a person took Sebastian's body away, and mom was the one that returned. I didn't get that there was a lot of time that transpired between the one person returning. It just maybe they just sped up the video or something. It looked like it happened like within a second. So that's a possibility. Thank you for that. Okay. Um, well, I mean, once you have people who don't search, it's kind of a red flag there. There've been quite a few red flags, but we're focused on the astrology. We know the red flags, and you can definitely, if you want to know a lot more of them, you don't have to come here. There's plenty of influencers who are talking about that. We're more interested in the astrology and the direction at the moment, and I do feel like he was definitely seen by someone as something of value. So Twin Oaks. Did I just Twin Oaks. Let me see. Yeah, it's that way, but there's another twin down here. Uh, I mean, it makes sense that it would be off 40. Let me see here. Here we go. Twin Creeks Farm. Okay. And there are two lakes that look like each other, and Price Lake and Craig Lake. That's not an older woman, though, but it is, that would be Twin Creeks Farm, and right off of 40. But, you'd have to know that place unless he golfs or something. So, a possibility, a possibility. Uh, This is, I think, a really instrumental um, chart here. This gives us everything we know. And let me think here for a second. Can I? Okay, so I'm going to share this tab instead. And what I did for Riley was I went down to the house system and I just changed it to no houses. And then I just look at where Saturn is. And Saturn, it's a little bit northwest there. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, but all of this, at the very least, let me just say this. At the very least, when you see that amount of energy, In all those planets, it's like multiple stelliums, meaning many, many planets or points in a zodiac sign. It's an incredible amount of energy. And when you see all of that energy, that means at least a couple of clues. So that is really important. The landmass is south of the Hendersonville area towards the water. Yeah, that's true. Twin Arches and a Tennessee Trail. That's a good point. That's a good question. Thank you, Cami. The mother and stepfather. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked about the insurance and all of that. I mean, I'm sure the police are looking into it. Beverly, land between the lakes. Okay. Twin Park. They have not found him yet. All right. Land between the lakes. Okay. Yeah, everyone is in the dark, including the police. Lori, I heard on that one YouTuber's voice box, two of them Hispanic, loads of garbage under the truck near the back to the right, a bunch of stuff. Oh God, that sounds chaotic. I would check the area of the barbecue place the mom and stepdad were eating at last night. The psychic Rochelle mentioned a pink, and a pink and yellow. The barbecue place is a pink pig logo and yellow writing. Okay. Yeah, the cops have been very hush mouth, as you say, and there's a reason for that. There is an investigation that's going on. You got to assume that, and there's a twin lake. Okay, land between the lakes is on the way toward Memphis. Okay, so you're saying that that's sorry. It takes me a little while to get it. So that's an actual name of a place. All right. So let me look at that for a second. I hope I'm getting this right. Land between, wow, that's an actual place. Look at that. Okay. That's quite a ways away. That's 101 miles. The Horary chart is kind of giving me like 16 miles. That's the only problem with that. So let me see. What is Craig Lake? That's weird. There's a Craig Lake number 2. Craig Lake, Tennessee. That's 40 miles. So maybe closer in. But yeah, you're purists. You're looking at this. Here's another clue though, too. And Melanie, if you're on, we're supposed to have a meeting after this, and I'm just going to be a few more minutes. But um, you know, what am I looking at here? I just pulled it up. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's really think about this here. We've got Pisces, we've got Aries. Those are the two huge clues, okay? Especially Aries. So Aries is like guns, a gun dealership, bullets. Mercury is small. Remember, Mercury is very small. It's in Aries, so that's a bullet. Not to say that anyone was shot, but it could be close to a place that sells those types of things, like an armory of some sort. It could mean, and especially with Mercury in Aries, that's like maybe 2 military places. That's possible. Let me see what you guys are saying first. Yeah, like a shooting range. Land between the lakes is also in Tennessee. Okay. Louise, thank you. Thanks, Melanie. See. Well, now they are camping. Interesting. There's an RV spot in Pecan Place. Lori, you're confused. Twin Rivers Park, possibly. but we got to put it all together here. So if we're looking at a twin, we're looking at maybe how about like a place where there's military or like is there a base that's, let's just say it's west because I'm getting southwest and northwest now. But like military base, Tennessee. I know you guys are going to be like, how does she not know? Uh no, how about Army? Tennessee. And those of you in Tennessee might know. Mm, hmm. Could be something that's named, it's like red. It can also be cars too. Aries is like a ton of cars. And it's also the color red. That's a really, really big clue. So let's see what's west here. Marrowbone Lake. That's interesting. That would be Saturn and Pisces. Uh, Saturn is bone, Pisces is lake. But, we've got someone who believes he thinks on his feet, I think. So he's gonna do something where he's not, so interesting how the last missing person was just found right here. But Kingston Springs, there's the wildlife management area. Still think it's going to be along 40. And all right, I'm going to do this satellite for Shauna. Also, oh, by the way, that south node there that's a big clue. Right here, this is a church. That's about as big of a clue as you could get. So it could be near a church and a lumber yard, because that's what Libra would be. It's like lumber yards for some reason. And it could be directly across from something that is Aries related, but this is military, you guys. So I'm going to need your help on this one. Another reader got Church Arrowhead Land Farm. Okay, Simply Reba. Well, if I get this voice down, I'll get this right. But when they searched yesterday, that dog hit an area on federal land that was owned by Army Corps of Engineers. Yeah, and then I'm thinking of that card saying that they're not in the right place. But yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, you could say a lot of things are against the Bible, but you could also say science is against the Bible. So, just saying. Corps of Engineers. Okay. Have you looked at the chart from when the neighbor saw him putting the garbage out? I have not. Does somebody have a time? Maybe you have a time. Fort Campbell. Okay. Marion, I figured you would know. Fort Campbell. Okay. Let's look at that. But that wouldn't be in Tennessee though. But that's Northwest. I don't think you went up there. I really don't. I don't know. The chart says Northwest. What are you going to do? But yet, Mercury would be small. Would Fort Campbell be considered a small army type of a location? Yeah, I guess it would be Campbell. You would think in this day and age, I mean, you can track all the cars. Like, there's got to be something on his car, on the persons of interest car where they could track the location. I think that the police are getting close. I really do. I think we're going to need a card though. Wow, this chat really gets off topic. Um, and some on topic. I love Chinese astrology, so still on topic there. But yes, that's true. Good point. Whoa, yes, 2. Okay. Military cemetery? Okay. They said at 9 PM he took the trash out. Okay. Well, let's look at it. All right, let me just pull it up real quick. 9 PM. God, what date was that? Was it the 28th? 9 PM. Hang on one second. 2024. And that's Hendersonville. Um, 26. Thank you. Jersey. Love Jersey. Okay. Okay. The moon is amazing. Really, I haven't seen it yet. No, it's the 25th, 26th. 25th, because it was the 26th at between midnight and 6. So I think, Melanie, you might be right there. All right. So let's say, where did I put it? Okay. 25th. Unless you guys are completely against that date. Whoa. Holy crap. That's basically the same as my horary chart, which is super random. And it's the same thing, almost South Node there. South Node is something very spiritual and it shows something being taken out. Um, wait a minute here. Let me put on some of these aspects. That Libra and South Node, that's a major clue. Okay. Well, Libra means a couple. Okay. So we've seen that on these crime charts. We know that, a couple might be, well, they simply might be asking for help. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are abusers or anything like that. But, okay, now we're getting into it. If we have the right date, I want to make sure if you guys are okay. I know, Melanie. I mean, that's amazing. I just randomly asked the question and I got that almost exact chart. The degree danger is near. Okay. Yeah. Lori JC. Okay. Search Mooney's automotive repair in Hendersonville and look at the area behind. Okay. What, Heather? Don't keep me in. Oh, you were talking about the degree. Yes. So many 17s. Well, 17 is the Leo degree. Two Rivers Baptist Church in Nashville is permanently closed. All right. So Phoenix Rising, you're saying if the 310-ish video that we showed earlier is most accurate, and that puts Saturn in the 3rd, does that mean childhood themes or short distance? I would say short distance. I would say in the neighborhood. Let me look at that one more time. See, I am getting, for 310, I get Saturn in the 2nd house. So I don't know. I'll have to look at that again. And I'm seeing it, in the 2nd, that would be the motive there, which is potentially, an insurance theme of some sort. And I just think it's crazy how Neptune and Pisces is just so prominent. And Saturn represents a father. Saturn in Pisces is a father that wears Neptunian colors. And there you go. Look at the shirt that he's wearing. So interesting that it's reflecting the chart. And also what's also interesting is that you can see how you see Mercury conjunct uh, Saturn is two fathers. So you would be seeing two fathers in this story. Okay. Um, Interesting. So, but the third house for this, Neptune is so strong. And there is not, you can see with that red line there, there's no success going to a local river. Like there's a trouble there with the potential persons of interest. So it seems that they went somewhere else, which would be Libra. You see the blue line? That's what you want to follow. You want to follow the blue line where they couldn't do this. So instead they went here. And the ninth house shows a farther distant place. Um, Now, Libra is also music. Uh, Ninth house, it's foreign music. Could mean beauty, couples, relationships. Could mean like divorce court. Ninth house is the court. So moon is in the same house, and sometimes that represents something that's well known that has to do with something that's Libra related. I don't know. Kind of crazy. I know, chase me. Yep. Yeah, we talked about the red flags a little bit. It's thank you, Sonia. That's sweet. You know what? That's a good question. Let's look at Black Moon Lilith here. Where is Black Moon Lilith? Well, this is now, why do we ask that? Because if you look in your charts, there's various charts you can look at, but I tend to look at the solar return chart. And you're going to look at Black Moon Lilith when you want to know in your year where you might have a little trouble with someone, or when there's something that's a little bit shady in the background. You want to kind of see that up close. And so in the crime charts, we can see that too. And Black Moon Lilith is here. I'm afraid to say that it's near the moon. So this is a mother figure of some sort. And, somebody who potentially is or would be perceived as deceptive. And, yeah, or the moon is representative of the perpetrator. It's interesting how Saturn and the moon are opposite of each other. When the ascendant is in Capricorn, it's Saturn, and then opposite Cancer. These are mortal enemies. So it's reflective of certainly people who potentially can't get along, or one person who can't get along with the rest. Okay, so let me go back here and yeah, an hour and 8 minutes. I gotta say, Marion, that's exactly the direction that the chart is showing. Is there anything a little bit closer though, like 16 miles in, that would be seen as military or lots of cars? Thanks, Heather, for filling everybody in. Yeah, live kind. Okay. I would look where they are camping today. I wonder, at that point they think people are on their tail. So I wonder if they, not to say that anybody is guilty, but Okay. Oh, you're 20 minutes from Hendersonville. Interesting. Gina, you're suspicious of the real father and the mother. Interesting. I'm pretty good with Seth. I think I don't get any red flags from him. Oh God, Two Rivers is right beside the Grand Old Opry. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I heard that. Hope Floats. Hey, Hope Floats. Nice to see you. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. So what am I going to? I'm going near the Grand Old Opry to the Two Rivers. That I wonder if that's 16 miles away. Not that it has to be, but um, okay. So Grand Old Opry. Twin Rivers. Interesting. Twin Rivers Park. Oof, I just got a chill. Not that that means anything because I'm not psychic, but still, that would be weird if it was around here. Still, there's Two Rivers Parkway. The thing is that Mercury is in Aries, so I would want it to be more like, I don't know, twin. I can't even think of an example for Aries. There's Twin Rivers Lake. Look at that. Yeah, that's what you were saying. Okay. Twin Rivers Greenway. Like if it was like Twin Rivers Auto Repair, I think one of you gave that example, an example like that. Okay, so let's ask the cards. Yeah, thank you, Gina, for saying that. I gotta say that I moved near the water, like I'm right on the water, and that was like 8 months ago or something like that, and I get a lot better clues. Now, you don't necessarily have to live by the water. It just depends on where you feel comfortable. I'm a Pisces, so that makes sense. It depends on what sign you are and the best environment you can be in. But yeah, that could be it. Twin Rivers Baptist Church. Let's look at that one. Rivers Oh my God. Uh, Tennessee. Yeah, that's still east. I mean, the South Node is something that is spiritual. It's a spiritual place. How about Henderson Young or Lumberyard? Henderson Lumberyard, because Libra is lumber. Um, Lumberyard Event Center? No, it's going to be closer in. Now, here's the thing. Okay, we get all into the weeds like this, but the chart is telling us that who's going to find what. Okay, and let's look at Uranus. Uranus is astrologers. Okay. Sorry. You can see that right there. Uranus. Okay. It's not really great there. I mean, it's not a real easy. We're going to look at this chart and we're going to see who's going to have the ability to find Sebastian. And it's a little off for the astrologers here in this chart. What is really strong is a neighbor. Jupiter represents the third house and also the 12th house. I'd rather just look at the third house because it's easier. But it could be a foreign person or somebody with a foreign name because Neptune and Pisces represent foreign. So could be somebody that And it might even be very innocent. It could be somebody who talked to a person of interest a couple weeks ago, and the person just happened to say, the person of interest just happened to say, "Yeah, we go down to blah 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 all the time," and it stuck with this person in their conversation. And so, for neighbors, it looks like a neighbor can help. Yeah, Robin, I didn't want to put that up. I think somebody here put the address in for the family. So, um, the church actually split as well. So that's a war. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think it's the bio dad. All right, so I'm gonna do one card and let's see what we get. Actually, I'm gonna do a card and then I'm gonna do an astrology card. But are we I mean, I guess we should just ask for more clues on his location. Where is Sebastian? Give us some kind of clue, clarification, please. We see water. Um, we see 3 torches. So there's something about 3. And that can be Mercury too. It can be 2 or more. So maybe the clue is 3. Um, something in threes. Okay, so where can we find Sebastian? Okay, the sun. Um, oh gosh. I know you guys are going to have some thoughts about that. Can you clarify? This is some place that's very hot, that gives off a lot of heat. This is a Leo card. Maybe the name Leo. Thank you, Heather, for mentioning my book. Um, okay. Leo. Are you guys thinking Leo? Yeah. All things Leo. Oh, God. Well, Leo represents a father. So, also near oak trees, you get more psychic powers. Interesting. That's Taurus. Um, okay. Yeah, I do too, Victorine. Okay, so Amber, you want to know, will the parents flee? I guess I can do that. The, I don't think that they could try to, I mean, that would be so stupid if they did. Are the parents going to flee? Ace of Cups. Uh, that looks like a yes. I can't imagine that's true. I mean, my common sense is saying no, but Ace of Cups, what do you guys think about that? Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that, Leo. Leo, are you not telling us something? What about caves? Yeah, caves has come up quite a bit here. Please look at Tennessee River off I-40. There's a military cemetery and Civil War battleground. Okay, see, that is a really good tip. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So, um, Natchez Trace Park. Okay. Um, Park. State park. Leo is a state park, or state park is Leo. That's southwest, which is what I was looking for earlier. It's off of 40. And this is a cemetery, lots of cemeteries. Okay, let's see. What would a cemetery be? That would be Saturn and Jupiter or Saturn and Pluto. I'll have to look. There's a lot of cemeteries around here. But where's the military cemetery? To be this fire station. It's in here, maybe. Maybe it's in the state park. but it needs to be around Aries things, which would be military. So if we can find something military in there, that would be a good clue. Oh, Molly, the crime chart is for 3:10 a.m. On the 26th. So, okay. I know, Victorine. Um, does it show caves on the map? Well, let's go from Natchez to the caves. I don't see anything about caves though. I think I need a little bit more information. But he meaning a person of interest, seems to think that he outsmarted everyone. Um, okay, that's where they were looking yesterday, Natchez State Park. Really? That's crazy. Okay. Rio Grande. This is weird, but could 3 have something to do with 3 bodies found in the same area? They've already found a woman. Yes, that's weird. That's absolutely possible. Okay. There's a veterans park. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. That is a fair statement. But I don't know. It just it's definitely something that most parents they'd be one of getting when you flee, it's because you don't want to answer questions sometimes. Not to say that's the case, but okay. Um, all right. Any thoughts about that state park? Guys, hi Val. The Ace of Cups just fell out in my shuffle, and I'm using the same deck as you are. Oh, interesting. Okay. What could that mean though? I mean, sometimes it's easy to, when you're doing a regular reading, you can give the explanation, but it's got to be pretty specific here um, for locations. Okay. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, I guess there's people around, right? Okay. That's fair, Breezy. Okay. Um, Well, okay, I wasn't gonna get into this, but this one time I'm gonna say something about what I thought about the whole hitting of the belt thing. If you noticed the mom said he didn't whip him with the belt. I think she said it that way where it was like it was a emphasis on whip. So it was kind of like, no, we didn't whip him, but he hit him. It just seemed like that to me. I don't know if that's how she meant it. So I know, isn't it crazy? And when we got that, um, when I pulled that horary chart, it was 8 degrees on the horary. So that's now we're getting 16. So um, is 16? Hold on one second. All right, so Hendersonville. I don't think it's 16 miles though. Tennessee. Geez, it's 110 miles. So I'm okay with it though. It's not always perfect. I wonder why I guess it's because it's near Route 40, which is a route to a person of interest work. The route of this person, yes. Uh, that's a big park. There's a Baptist church up here. What's this? I guess, if we're looking for some kind of a clue, it's going to be Aries. I mean, obviously it's going to be Pisces. It's going to be near water. So we know that right off the bat, it's going to be near water. But what is that Aries? Aries is cars. Aries is metal. Lots and lots and lots of metal. So I'm going to look at this one more time. I'm going to pull a card and then I got to go. But all right. So all right. So here's all of the metal. So a group of cars, this could be a group of angry drivers because of Aries with Mercury. It's someone who's driving fast too. Um, these are people with military tattoos because, oops, sorry, right here. So Mercury is, these are rednecks. I mean, red. Okay. So that's Aries. So it's in a, maybe like a, country area. Uh, and then you have the sun in Aries. That's a lot of Aries. It's like military communications. It's foreign military communications because North Node is foreign. Okay. A foreign name. I mean, if we were to look at this as a crime chart, and this is the Horary chart of what I asked, where is Sebastian? These are people from the military. So I mean, really that's what the Aries is. Yet it's still a question. Um, okay, okay. So if we think this person or a couple of people is guilty, if this is the guilty party right here, then you want to look at where the blue line is. The blue line is what they're able to do, and that is Mars in Pisces in the 5th house of park. Okay? So it seems like it might be a park where there's water. It looks like a blue car, like Pisces is blue, um, or Neptunian colors, and Mars is a car. So, yeah, a park with water. And one more thing too, when you have Mars there next to Saturn, it's like an old war. And I think somebody else brought that up too. Uh, are you serious? Whoa, good call. Okay. Then that is a good clue, I think. Redbud Lake is next to Bible Grove Road. I think it was taken somewhere. BML opposes Venus, and Venus, this is the female in the story, and it's not somebody. And it's also conjunct Moon, which is a mother figure. So I didn't want to get into too much of the detail, but good call, Heather, on that. That's amazing. Okay. So yeah, Jamie Lee, I think he is. And Squeaky Wheel, you think he was lured away, okay? From what I understand, I think so. I think he was, there was delay, I guess you could say, mental delay. Are you thinking, I don't like to say that on a live stream, but I would say that I always say that there is a chance. But based on all of that Aries there's a lot of anger that happened. It seemed like there was something violent that happened. So it would be hard, I think, to survive something like that. But there's always, always a chance. There are a lot of forts in Tennessee. Yeah. Okay. I think, the 16-mile clue could be a good one. Lane Car Museum in Nashville. God. Thanks, Lori JC. Functionally autistic. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. And so one more thing I want to do an astrology card. If there's anything that you can do, Spirit, to help us to try to narrow down, my God, we've got a lot of clues here. You've already given us the sun, which is a Leo clue. It's a park, it's a place that's very sunny. Um, can you give us anything else that can help us narrow down where we should be looking? Whoa, Gemini, twin. Okay. Whew, just got to chill. I I hope that's a good clue, I hope. Okay, let's go back then. If it's saying Gemini, let's just go back for a second. Let me see here. Add it to the stage. Mercury is Gemini, and then also Gemini is the ninth house. And that's not local, that's kind of a little ways away, out of town. Mercury is 22. That's 22 means to kill. So a murder was on someone's mind, and can show a murderer too. Two people who harmed, which would be Chiron, to wound, and that's 18 degrees. Something came over, that this is negative, evil energy that was encompassing these people. And with North Node, it is extreme. Anything with North Node, which is the little horseshoe, that means extreme. So it shows extreme Aries. And Aries, if it is not manifesting, or if it's not, I guess, if the energy isn't aspecting well, it can show abuse. So definitely, really, really a tragic scenario here for such a little kid. Just kills you. Okay, Amber, you are saying Tupelo, southwest of Nashville, near Guntown. There's a Guntown? You got to be kidding me. Ugh. I mean, and I'm saying it that way because that's Aries. Whoops, not that one. All right, so you said Tupelo. It's not giving me anything here. How about Guntown? Guntown, Tennessee. Whoa. Okay. Weird how his last name is Rogers and Rogersville is right there. McKinney Chapel Road. I don't know. This is way off course, but I'm willing to consider it because if you look at the, where was it? This is the direction, but the moon is out here. So it's like, that's east. I don't think he's east. I think he's west. I think he's west. I think that this is him right here. It just depends on, what you're going to consider. Sometimes it's not Saturn. Sometimes it's another planet. And often astrologers will look to the moon when there's a missing person. But Saturn, I mean, you'd have to be convinced that we're looking at someone who has passed. And this technique doesn't work all of the time, but it works a lot of the time. I mean, I would say 8 out of 10 times I use it, it's about right. So that's high. And I'm thinking the reason it's not perfect is because there's some kind of rule I'm missing that I haven't figured out yet. I don't know. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to continue to watch this case. If you're interested in a reading, just go to astrologywithval.me, and definitely, if you have any clues, feel free to email me. Always interested in what's happening from your perspective. Bella, you're saying he's right there in a basement. You think he's alive. Interesting. Okay. What would represent a well? That would be Scorpio. So, or Pluto. So thank you, Heather. That's so nice of you. And thank you, Angelia. And really appreciate all of your contributions tonight. And I'll see you again next time.